It's gonna be 40 degrees tonight, and these little dudes are not very hardy. And he has no temperature protection in here, so I have got him a nice big heater, so he will be nice and warm. And he's doing okay. I mean, he's doing okay. I've seen some white poop from him a few times, which is slightly worrying, but I mean, I don't think I can just randomly treat him with anything. There's a yawn. I've started on Prozzy too, because I've seen those yawns. I've seen those yawns since I had him, but they got a little bit worse the longer I kept him. And so I started him on Prozzy. Really, I shouldn't have to Prozzy freaking imports. They should be healthy already. But I didn't see a lot of yawning in the where I bought him. I didn't see him yawning a lot then, but I mean, when he got here, he started yawning, so I guess the change in water caused whatever he had to bother him more. He hasn't been in contact with any of my fish. He hasn't been in contact with any of the water from any of my fish. He hasn't been in contact with anything potentially infectious at all. Just because, not because I don't want anything to happen to him, is because I don't trust these imports not to sicken my other fish. Like, these dudes here come in with all kinds of bacteria, parasites, viruses, and this is the last time that I try an import. So if he doesn't work out for me, I'm going to go ahead and write off imports, because I don't think that they're healthy. I think that they pose a health risk to your current fish. I think that they're harder to keep healthy because of what they've been exposed to. And I just don't know. Like, it's kind of cool out here today, so he has slowed down visibly. He's not swimming around as actively. And I mean, his tub is nice and clean. There's no ammonia in here. I keep this thing clean. There's another yawn. I just don't think these fish are very hardy. I really don't. And this is the last import I'm ever going to try if he doesn't work out. Especially from that vendor. I decided to give that vendor another try, but just be more cautious about mixing his fish. But if this fish doesn't do well, then I'm never going to do imports again. There's another big yawn. I put Prozzy in. So he started to yawn. You can see some of the Prozzy still on the bottom, but most of it I did dissolve into the water. He's been yawning quite a bit more ever since I put the Prozzy in. So I do believe he has flukes. He definitely has to have flukes, or otherwise he wouldn't be yawning as much. So I got a fish, an imported fish. They aren't cheap, and he has flukes. So isn't that just great? These freaking importers don't quarantine. You know, it just bothers me. They have really great fish, which is the sad thing. Like, finding a fish like this locally is completely impossible. Or if I do find one online or something, they cost so much more than just going straight to the source and picking the fish up like that, which I'm not willing to spend all that money. So, you know, I'm happy with how he looks. He's really a great looking fish. He's just what I like, but if he isn't healthy, then none of it matters. So he's got a heater. He's not going to get cold tonight. Not at all. That's a 500 watt heater. And I've used them outside in these tubs before, and they will keep the tubs at 80 something. There goes another yawn. They will keep the tubs at 80 something when it's fucking 40 degrees outside. Oh, I didn't mean to swear. When it's freaking 40 degrees outside. So these heaters are good. They work. So I just want to show you guys him for a minute. He's okay for now. He's fine. Well, he seems fine. He's not as active as he was before, but he's swimming around, no sitting. He's just yawning like crazy. Which is bugging me, because he really shouldn't be yawning. Because I paid too much for this fish to have anything wrong with him at all. So I don't like that these importers don't quarantine and make sure that their fish are healthy. It bugs me. But, you know, whatever. If all it is flukes, I'm not going to be upset. If he just develops a bacterial issue or something, I'm just done with these fish. Because I don't think it's fair for us to have to deal with bacterial issues and unhealthy fish when we're paying a lot of money for them. So you can see, hold on. Let me grab him. You can see him. It's really quite a beauty. He really is. Look at him. He's a short-bodied John-Bowel Orenda, and he's about the same age as the fish that you see in Walmart, but their genes are just so different that they can be this size at so young. But I just want to show a little video of him so you can see him. His name is Gladiolus, and I call him Gladio. I'm almost sure he's a boy, even though he's young. My last fish was this age too, and I could tell he was a boy. They seem to develop sooner because they're bigger, and you can just look. To a trained eye, even a young fish can be sexed. But I'm going to leave him alone now. And he is gonna stay out here in quarantine. He's been in here in quarantine since September 30th. He's gonna stay in quarantine all through the winter. And come spring, if he's still alive and okay, I will consider putting him with some of my fish. But again, this is just considering. There's no way I'm gonna put him in here anytime soon because I just don't trust the health of these fish. I lost so many fish last year to what was seemingly a foreign something because nothing I did could treat it, and all my fish were wiped out within a few weeks, like 2 weeks or less than a month of me finding out that some of them were sick. And I had some of these fish for 2 years almost with no health issues. So I put an import in there even after quarantine. I think something got by quarantine, so I'm not gonna chance it again. Nope. This dude is okay, so I'm gonna leave him alone. Just want to talk about these imports. Just be careful when you mix them with your domestics. Like, just don't do it. Be sure to quarantine really well. Be sure to look out really closely for signs of issues such as flukes. See, this one here is yawning super bad. If I put him with my regular fish, he's gonna pass them flukes and who knows what else. So he is not going in with my normal fish. Just be really careful with that, people. Be so careful with that. I make sure none of his water runs off into anything that my fish will ever be near. I mean, I'm just being so super careful with this dude. It's not even funny. Because I just don't want anything that he might have to pass to my fish. At the same time, I think he's a beautiful fish. I love him. So we shall see. Alright, Gladio. I'm going to leave you alone.